Some people never learn. One dumb move with a wild animal, and your dream vacation turns into a total nightmare. Tourists ignore every warning sign, chasing thrills for selfies or stunts, and end up paying with their lives. These insane stories prove it. Never mess with the raw power of beasts in the wild. Number 22. Fisherman's complacency ends in tragedy. It was August 18th, 2014. Lon Van Tran and his wife finished work early to visit their favorite fishing spot along the Adelaide River, just east of the bridge. The location was only a few hundred meters away. They knew crocodiles lurked nearby, so they stayed a safe 3 meters from the muddy edge while casting hand lines into the water. Around 5:30 in the afternoon, as the tide pulled back and they packed to leave, one line snagged tight. Lon stripped to his underwear, grabbed a stick, and waded through the muck to free it for other anglers. No lure was involved, despite early rumors. Suddenly, a massive crocodile burst from the left and clamped his outstretched arm. Lon's terrified cry echoed. "Oh my God, I'm done for!" he yelled before he vanished under the surface. His wife heard the yell amid huge splashes. She spotted a thrashing tail, snatched a knife, and charged into the sludge. She yanked the line, hoping he was still on it, then slashed wildly in the shallows. Nothing but ripples remained. This beast was a 4.54-meter male, ghostly leucistic with a pale head. Locals called him Michael Jackson, fondly. He had no front legs and one back leg missing, but he was deadly as ever. That night, rangers found Michael Jackson with a human hand and arm chunk in his jaws. One shot ended him. Inside his stomach was Lan's leg. Saltwater crocodiles do not play games. Push your luck near the water, and complacency bites back. It may not happen today, tomorrow, or next month. But someday, that silent ambush ends it all. Number 21. Model's fatal swim with a man-eater. North Australia's sun-drenched waters teem with hidden killers. Giant saltwater crocodiles, up to 20 feet of muscle and teeth, rule these rivers. They ambush anything that moves, including curious humans. In March 1987, model Ginger Meadows, fresh off watching Crocodile Dundee, set sail on the luxury boat Lady G with her friend, chef Jane Burchett. They headed from Darwin toward Papua New Guinea, chasing adventure at stunning Cascade Falls. The skipper's warning rang crystal clear: do not even dip a toe in. He knew the crocodiles lurked like shadows, lunging from the depths to drag prey under, but the waterfall's sparkling pool proved too tempting. Ginger and Jane slipped into waist-deep water at the fall's base, laughing off the risk. Then disaster struck. The skipper spotted it, a 13-foot monster charging straight at them, jaws wide. "Croc, get out!" he screamed. Too late. They stood trapped against the rocky ledge, the beast just meters away, eyes locked on its next meal. Jane's heart pounded as it swam right up, mouth gaping like a nightmare trap. Thinking fast, she yanked off her shoe and hurled it. The impact smacked the crocodile square on its armored head. It snapped its jaws shut, stunned for a split second. "Go!" Jane yelled. Ginger bolted, letting go of her arm and leaping off the ledge with 2 desperate strokes toward shore. But crocodiles do not miss. It exploded from the water, clamping onto her waist in a death grip. Down she went, vanishing in a froth of bubbles. Seconds later, the beast surfaced right in front of Jane. There was Ginger, face to face, arms flailing in terror, eyes pleading. Then she was gone, pulled under forever. Ginger's brutal end became one of Australia's most infamous crocodile attacks. It stands as a stark reminder that in crocodile country, the wild always wins. Number 20. Cassowary's deadly kick. Deep in the Australian bush on April 6, 1926, 2 young brothers, 16-year-old Philip McLean and his 13-year-old brother Granville, were out on their family property hunting for their missing horses. The air hummed with the buzz of insects, and the ground crunched under their boots. Suddenly, their loyal dog let out a fierce bark, cornering a massive cassowary, a towering dinosaur-like bird with razor-sharp claws and a glare like thunder. Granville, heart pounding, charged in to save his dog from the bird's brutal beating. Wham! A powerful kick slammed into his leg, sending him sprawling in agony. He scrambled up and bolted for safety, legs shaking. Philip did not hesitate. Gripping his horse bridle like a warrior's whip, he lunged at the feathered beast, swinging hard. The cassowary spun, its deadly foot slashing through the air. Crack! It struck Philip's neck, ripping open a deep 1¼ centimeter gash that gushed blood, likely slicing his jugular vein. Clutching his throat, Philip sprinted toward home, hot blood soaking his shirt. But after just 200 yards, his strength gave out. He collapsed, and the bush fell silent. Philip McLean became the only human ever killed by a cassowary, a stark reminder of nature's untamed fury. Number 19. Elephant's deadly charge in Zimbabwe. Deep in the wild heart of Zimbabwe, Manapools National Park buzzed with life. On a sunny Wednesday, the air hummed with the sounds of nature. Petra Wittke, a German tourist, gripped her camera tightly, her heart racing with excitement. She had dreamed of snapping the perfect photo of Africa's mighty elephants. Zimbabwe is home to the world's second-largest elephant population. More than 82,000 of these giants roam the land, according to the 2016 Great Elephant Census. Yet these powerful creatures often clash with farmers and visitors who venture too close. Petra's group drove into the park that morning. Soon, they spotted a massive herd thundering across the dusty plain. The elephants moved like living mountains. "Look at them," Petra whispered, her eyes wide. Eager for that dream shot, she stepped out of the vehicle. She ignored the guide's warnings and crept closer, camera raised. The herd paused, sensing her. Then chaos erupted. A colossal bull elephant turned, his eyes flashing with rage. No one knows what sparked it. With a deafening trumpet, he charged. The ground shook under his feet. Petra froze for a split second, then turned to run, but he was too fast. The massive beast trampled her mercilessly, tusks slashing the air. Her group screamed and tried to help, but it was too late. Rangers rushed in and scared the elephant away. Petra fought hard for her life. Paramedics airlifted her to a hospital. Sadly, she succumbed to her injuries that same day. Zimbabwe Park spokesman Tinashe Farawo later shook his head in sorrow. "We always warn people, stay far from wild animals. Keep your distance," he said. In elephant country, one wrong step means game over. Petra's story spread like wildfire, a grim reminder of the wild's raw power. Visitors now think twice before chasing that perfect shot. Number 18. Peacock Paradise turns to feathered fury. A woman in a vibrant green dress stopped mid-stroll when a stunning peacock strutted into view. Its iridescent feathers gleamed under the sun, a true work of art. She edged closer, drawn in by the magic. Hopping onto a nearby stone wall in a sunny park, she struck a pose right beside it. Her dress colors matched the bird's tail perfectly, like a dream photo op. But paradise didn't last. In a flash, the peacock leaped off the wall, trading grace for fury. It charged, pecking hard and flapping its wings wildly. She giggled nervously, tripping backward as it pressed the attack. The bird owned the moment. What started as a viral snapshot turned into a chaotic feather storm and hasty escape, a funny warning that wild beauty packs a punch. Number 17. Man taunts bear, faces deadly charge in open field. This man dances with danger as he strides right up to the massive bear and barks like he owns the wild. That is not smart in this wide open field, where the beast could lunge and crush him in a heartbeat, turning bravado into brutal regret. Damn, the bear has had enough of the taunts. Just as the fool thinks he has dodged disaster, the furious animal explodes into a full sprint and barrels after him as he trips and scrambles desperately toward his car for dear life. Number 16. Daring crocodile encounter. Picture this. A bold tour guide whistles a massive crocodile straight toward a boat packed with wide-eyed tourists. One slip, and this powerhouse beast could turn the fun into chaos. Crocodiles are wild cards, packed with raw strength. But that's the rush. Watch the guide tease and dance with the monster right at the water's edge. It's equal parts adrenaline and spine-tingling thrill. You have to see it unfold. In the end, they nail it with an unforgettable close-up of nature's fierce beauty. Number 15. Backpackers' reckless rhino clash. In Namibia's vast Etosha National Park, a reckless European backpacker ditched his guide and charged at a massive wild rhino armed with just a wooden baseball bat. The beast did not hesitate. It charged back, flipping him through the air like a rag doll and sending him crashing into the dust. Shaken but alive, he barely escaped with his life. Rumors swirl that he might have been drunk. What makes anyone think they can take on a rhino barehanded? Number 14. Woman's wild swim with hungry polar bears. Feeding time at the Berlin Zoo in 2009. 6 keepers hover near the polar bear enclosure, ready to toss chunks of meat to the massive beasts. That is when a 32-year-old woman spots her chance. Heart pounding, she vaults a fence, scrambles over thorny bushes, and scales a wall before plunging straight into the icy water. She swims right toward the curious bears, buzzing with thrill. But excitement flips to terror fast. One huge bear lunges, chomping her arm and leg in brutal bites. Keepers rush in, shoving the animal back and dropping a rope to haul her out. Disaster strikes again. As she is nearly safe, she slips from the harness and splashes back in. The bears close in once more. On the second try, though, they yank her to safety. No one knows her motive. After weeks healing deep wounds in the hospital, she has probably sworn off bear baths for good. Number 13. Woman's wild lion enclosure stunt. Tourist cameras captured a shocking moment. A bold woman leaped into a lion's den and stared down a massive predator that could tear her apart in seconds. Experts warned to hold still, lock eyes, and never turn your back. But she shattered every rule, breaking into a carefree dance right in the beast's face. The lion stayed eerily calm, eyes locked on her with muscles coiled for the perfect strike. Lions can blast to 50 miles per hour in explosive bursts, turning prey into history fast. She spun around, exposing her back, and the video cuts out. What happens next? Total mystery. Number 12. Gorilla Guardian, the heart-stopping rescue. In August 1986 at Durrell Wildlife Park on Jersey Island in the Channel Islands, a curious 5-year-old boy named Levin Merritt climbed a wall overlooking the gorilla enclosure while his parents looked away for just a moment. He slipped and fell to the concrete below, where he blacked out. The crowd froze in horror as Jambo, the massive silverback gorilla, lumbered toward the limp child. Everyone braced for the worst. But Jambo defied all instincts. Instead of charging, he stood tall like a shield and blocked other gorillas from getting near. This was no ordinary encounter. Jambo had never seen a human child this close, yet his gentle side shone through. He even softly stroked the boy's back, as if checking if he was okay. When Levin stirred and cried for help, the gorillas surprisingly backed away. Zookeepers and a paramedic rushed in and pulled him to safety. The boy made a full recovery, and the park strengthened barriers to prevent repeats. Still, if someone is determined to sneak into a big cat or ape zone, safety measures can only do so much. Jambo's story became legend. It serves as a raw reminder of wildlife's hidden compassion amid the wild. Number 11. Man's insane leap into lion's den. Some wild nights leave you with regrets. Others put you inches from jaws that snap in seconds. Back in 2016 at Hyderabad Zoo, stunned crowds watched a drunk man vault a fence and plunge 12 feet straight into the lion pit. Screams exploded as people yelled, "Freeze!" hoping keepers could swoop in. But no luck. He sloshed through the water, belting out tunes, and even waved hello to the massive cats like old pals. One wrong move, and it was game over. Pure miracle. Feeding hour hit just right. The lion's ears perked at the keeper's calls, fixating on fresh meat instead of this fool intruder prowling their turf. Keepers dropped a long pole, yanked him out fast, and then cops slapped him with wildlife violation charges. Shift the clock by minutes, and those beasts' killer instincts would have shredded the story. Zoos are not playgrounds. Hunger or not, one pounce ends it all. This buzzed blunder slammed head first into primal peril, dodging doom by a whisker, a brutal wake-up, skip the stupid risks, or pay the ultimate price. Number 10. Hunter's hog hunt turns into terrifying boar ambush. In a shocking twist, overconfident hunters thought they had wild hogs cornered. Armed with basic single-shot rifles, they plunged into the dense woods. A big mistake. The massive boars outsmarted them at every turn, zigzagging past bullets and charging head-on. Things escalated fast. A furious herd of dozens stormed the group, tusks gleaming and eyes locked on revenge. The hunters fired wildly amid the chaos, scrambling for cover as the beasts closed in. They surely regretted skipping the heavy artillery. This backwoods brawl was no joke. Number 9. A daring hat rescue turns into terrifying tiger chase. In 2016, a guest at the Toronto Zoo faced a split-second decision when a strong wind gust blew her favorite hat over the safety fence. Should she forget it and buy a replacement from the gift shop? No way. She vaulted the barrier to retrieve it. That turned out to be a big mistake. She had landed inside the tiger enclosure. A secondary fence held the massive cats at bay, but just barely. One tiger spotted the easy prey and charged full force with claws extended, roaring toward her. Heart pounding, the woman grabbed her hat and leaped back over the fence just in time as shocked crowds screamed warnings and hurled insults at her. The incident could have ended in a fatal mauling. Zoo staff learned about it only after bystander videos spread rapidly online that afternoon. They launched an investigation, seeking witnesses to identify her, impose a lifetime ban, and possibly press charges for endangering everyone. Number 8. Pandas, cuddly killers. Think pandas are just fluffy teddy bears? Think again. These beasts pack razor-sharp claws and brutal power that can flip from chill to chaos in seconds. Back in 2000, at Nanchang Zoo in China's Jiangxi province, a man named Chen ignored every warning sign. Spotting a panda named Mei Ling dozing peacefully in its pen, he figured it was safe. To impress two women watching, he hopped the barrier for a selfie-worthy moment. He waved, but she showed no reaction. So he poked the sleeping giant. Big mistake. Mei Ling snapped awake, her eyes blazing with fury. In a flash, she charged and pinned Chen in a whirlwind of paws and snarls, her pure survival instinct kicking in. The man fought back desperately, barely scrambling free from her iron grip before bolting out. Miraculously, doctors gave him a clean bill of health. No bites, just bruises and a lifetime of nightmares. Cops confirmed it was all for showboating bravado. Zoo bosses hammered home the truth. Even cute wildlife like pandas are wild at heart. Always obey the fences. They save lives. Number 7. Shark Tank Daredevil's Naked Night Dive Gone Wild. Picture this. Back in 2018, a man from British Columbia walked into Toronto's Ripley's Aquarium. He eyed the star exhibit, a massive tank teeming with prowling sharks, and stripped down completely naked for a wild plunge. Screaming visitors froze as he splashed around, with those massive predators circling like shadows just feet below. Guards rushed in and yelled for him to get out. He climbed out, only to launch a cheeky backflip right back into the danger zone. He frolicked amid the fins for a few heart-pounding minutes. The aquarium's rule was clear: no grabbing people who leave on their own. He strutted out straight into waiting cops, who linked him to a brazen theft from earlier that night. Number 6. Daring fool climbs giraffe fence. A reckless man climbs a tall fence into a giraffe pen, risking everything for a deadly stunt. He hoists himself onto the massive animal's back and yells in excitement as the startled giraffe bucks wildly. Shocking twist. Giraffes are usually calm giants, peaceful browsers who avoid fights and rarely harm humans. But this one fights back hard. The man tumbles off, crashes to the ground, shakes it off, and unbelievably climbs the fence again to prove he is unstoppable. Music intensifies. Boom! The giraffe kicks him flying once more, slamming him into a metal pole. The lesson finally sinks in. He scrambles back over the fence to safety, tail between his legs. Number 5. A family's terrifying wake-up call at drive-through safaris. Imagine pulling up to a cheetah enclosure at a safari park with your heart racing from excitement, then stepping out for that perfect photo. That is exactly what a French family did in 2018 at Bergen Safari Park near Tilburg, Netherlands. It nearly cost them everything. Shocking video captures the moment they left their vehicle with kids in tow and crept closer to the sleek predators. Suddenly, the cheetahs spotted the easy targets. With ears perked and eyes locked, the big cats vaulted from their spots and circled the group like ghosts in the grass, plotting their strike. Trapped and surrounded, the family finally grasped their deadly mistake. With adrenaline surging, they sprinted back to their car just seconds before the cheetahs closed in for the kill. Park officials called it a miracle they survived. They stressed that clear warnings in multiple languages to stay in your vehicle are posted everywhere. Yet every year, a handful of thrill seekers roll the dice and flirt with disaster. Number 4. Tourists' cruel raid on peacocks. In 2018, heartless tourists at Zhuanyuan Zoo in Jiangsu, China, shattered every rule. They leaped into the peacock pen, grabbed 4 panicked birds, and ripped out fistfuls of their stunning feathers. The attack was savage. The birds ended up nearly bald, with deep cuts oozing blood. It was a gut-wrenching sight that left everyone stunned. Miraculously, all 4 peacocks survived, but they needed emergency treatment. Zoo staff whisked them to a safe quarantine area for a tough recovery battle. The real shocker? This was not a one-off. With only 3 workers guarding 41 birds behind flimsy barriers, Spotting trouble was impossible. This nightmare laid bare the zoo's weak defenses and how one reckless thrill can scar innocent animals forever. Number 3. The Stingray's Revenge. It was a bright, sunny day on a busy fishing pier in Asia. Friends laughed and shouted, showing off their fresh catches as phones recorded every exciting moment. The mood was electric. One guy wanted to go viral. Smiling at the camera, he grabbed a live stingray from the bucket. It was a sneaky, round stingray, small but fierce. He held its slippery body like a prize. The ray went still for a second, its scales shining in the sun. Then it struck. The stingray whipped its tail fast. A sharp, venom-filled barb stabbed right into his palm. He screamed, a loud, raw cry of shock and burning pain. He threw the ray down and stumbled back as blood mixed with water on the pier. Pain exploded through his arm, like fire racing up and twisting his muscles. Nausea hit him hard. His friends froze in horror. "It's a round stingray!" one yelled. Tiny, but it shreds nerves with waves of pain. He crumpled to the ground, helpless. His buddies rushed to help as his hand swelled into a throbbing mess, the wound pulsing like a heartbeat. At the hospital, doctors carefully cut out the barb and saved him from worse trouble. If the barb had hit just inches higher, it could have pierced his neck or face, with fatal results. The video went viral online. But no one cheered for fame. Viewers watched in shock, learning a hard lesson. Wild ocean creatures don't care about likes. Respect the sea or it fights back. Number 2. Snowball prank shocks lions at Amsterdam Zoo. In the heart of Amsterdam Zoo, the lion exhibit offered a peaceful scene. Golden sunlight warmed the rocky enclosure where 3 majestic lions lounged. The large male stretched on a sunlit ledge, his thick mane fluffy and calm. Beside him, 2 females rested with eyes half closed in the lazy afternoon. Visitors watched from behind sturdy glass barriers and snapped photos of the jungle kings at rest. It was a cold winter day with soft snow falling outside. A group of young visitors, 4 friends bundled in coats, stood at the railing. Laughing and full of mischief, they scooped handfuls of snow from the ground. "Watch this!" one shouted. Without thinking, they began throwing snowballs over the barrier. The white balls flew through the air and splattered against the rocks in the lion's enclosure. The lions jumped up in shock. The male roared low with hackles raised like spikes along his back. The snow felt cold and foreign to them, unlike the warm African savanna of their origins. It stung their fur and splashed their faces. The females growled with ears flat and tails twitching. Trapped behind the barriers, they could not chase the troublemakers. Instead, the pride huddled together. The males stood in front, protecting the females as they pressed close to shield their sides. Their eyes fixed on the visitors with fierce warning. Zoo staff rushed over and yelled at the group to stop. "No throwing! You're scaring them!" The friends froze with pale faces as other visitors' cameras captured every moment. The lions paced and snarled for minutes, their peaceful nap ruined. Finally, the troublemakers slunk away with heads down, while keepers calmed the cats with soft words and meat treats. The video went viral online that night. Headlines blared, "Caught on camera? Idiots harass lions with snowballs." People everywhere shared it and shook their heads. Zoos provide safe places to see wild animals up close, not playgrounds for pranks. This chilling clip served as a stark warning: respect wildlife, or turn a serene safari into a dangerous standoff. From then on, signs appeared everywhere with the message, "No snow, no harm," and visitors thought twice before acting foolish. Number 1. The drunken swim with the spider monkeys. In the bustling city of São Paulo, Brazil, the Sorocaba Zoo housed curious spider monkeys that swung from branches and chattered all day. These clever creatures lived in a special enclosure, protected by a wide moat that kept visitors at a safe distance. Everyone knew the rule: look, but don't touch. One sunny Sunday, a mechanic named João Leite dos Santos had a wild idea. Feeling bold after drinking too much, he grinned and told himself, "I just want to play with the monkeys." Without a second thought, he climbed the fence and jumped into the moat. Splash! The water was cold and deep, but João swam across like it was a playground pool, laughing the whole way. The spider monkeys spotted him right away. At first, they tilted their heads, watching the strange humans splash toward their island. But as Juon got closer and reached out to pet them, the monkeys turned fierce. They wanted no part of uninvited guests. With sharp teeth and quick paws, a group charged him. They bit and scratched, pulling at his clothes and skin. Juon yelled in surprise and pain as he fought to swim back to safety. He finally made it out of the water, dripping wet and covered in bites and bruises. Zoo staff rushed to help and called an ambulance. Juon ended up in the hospital, nursing his wounds and a massive headache. When Globo TV interviewed him later, he admitted sheepishly, "I was drunk. I just wanted to play." And the monkeys? They went right back to swinging and snacking, as if nothing had happened. The story spread like wildfire. A silly reminder that wild animals play by their own rules, and booze-fueled zoo adventures rarely end well.